Okay, so first of all, thank you guys for taking the time out of your Wednesday night to hang out with us, to learn a little bit more about coaching. Feel free to ask questions at the end, and don't think that any question is stupid. I remember asking all of the questions, so don't feel like any questions you have, don't hold back. So you're going to be hearing from myself, Emma, Shelby, and Audrey. And we're actually going to start with a brand new coach on our team. She started just 2 months ago and she has seen success right away. So I'm excited for her to share her fears before coaching, and she will dive right in.
So it's my first time doing this, so I could ramble, we'll see. But my name is Audrey and I'm a full-time teacher. I've been teaching for 2 years now, and it'll be my third year starting in a couple weeks. And I've been coaching for about a month and a half to 2 months. And I'm just gonna give you a backstory of how I became a coach. So I've always been into sports. I've always been athletic up until the end of university. And then I never stepped foot in a gym. I'd only played sports. And after university ended, I was like, okay, well, I guess I'm gonna have to step foot in the gym now because there was no more sports really. So I started going to the gym a couple times a week, and I was so inconsistent. I would go hard for a couple weeks, and then I would fall out of that routine, and then I'd restart again and fall out, and it's just like a cycle. Up until last summer, coming back from a 3-week trip in Italy and Greece, I came back and I was like the most unhappy I've been with my body. I didn't feel good. I had gained the most weight I'd ever gained. And for somebody who's used to being fit all the time, it was like a shock to me. So I was like, okay, I'm going to change this. I need to get in a routine and stick to it. So I started going to the gym like 2 times a week, and then I would do like home workouts because going to the gym every day as a teacher, I didn't have the time. I was like, there's no way I'm waking up at 5 a.m. every single day and going to the gym. So that's what I did. And then up until March, and then COVID hit and the gyms closed. So I was like, oh, what am I going to do? Because I love the gym. So I bought bands and like light weights and started doing home workouts, and I had lost all the weight that I had gained. So I was back to like where I wanted to be. So I decided to start a fitness account on Instagram just for my own accountability, as well as to inspire others to stay active during quarantine. And at this point, Shauna had reached out to me for I think like 2 years. Like it was like constant, like, do you want to join a boot camp? Do you want to become a coach? And I was like, no, I just kept making up excuses, or like, I don't know, I had every excuse in the book. But I was always following her journey, and it always interested me, but I was scared. I don't know, I was like not about to jump in. So I continued with my fitness account for 3 months, and I was getting people like messaging me being like, oh, like I'm doing your workout, so awesome. So I like felt really good about like helping other people, and I was having so much fun. And then in July, Shauna had posted a picture, I still remember this, and it was that she bought a new car. And I was like, wow, like that is so awesome. And then I thought, okay, I have student loans. I have a brand new car I bought 2 years ago and still paying for. I was like, that could be me. Like I could use that side income to pay for things like that. So that day or the day after, I don't even know exactly, I messaged her out of nowhere, and I was like, okay, I'm ready to be a coach. What do I do? So that's a little bit about how I became a coach. But those years that went by, every single time she asked me, I had so many fears in my mind stopping me from actually jumping in. So I'll just go over a couple of them that I had. So the number one fear I had was, what will people think? And I was the worst for that because I used to think about what people think way too much. I wanted like people to like me. I don't know, I just like had that fear. And but I realized that I have to be living for myself, and I have to be doing what makes me happy. Others like can think whatever they want, but if I'm happy, then that's what matters. And I saw somewhere I'm sure everyone's read it, where it says like they don't pay your bills, which I found funny because it's so true. Like they shouldn't impact what you do if it's going to help you. So that's how I kind of got over that fear. My second one was fear of failure. So I was kind of scared to jump in and not be good at it at all. But the fear of like missing out on an opportunity kind of overshadowed that. It was like, what if I decide not to jump in and then I'm missing out on like something amazing that could happen in my life? So I kind of focused on that instead of like, what if I can fail? Because everyone, like, we fail at some things, it just happens. But the fear of missing out was like more to me. I don't know. Another thing was doing it alone. So I didn't have much experience with social media. I posted like my workouts and stuff, but my stories, like I never showed up on my stories. I never did any of that. So for me, jumping in, not knowing anything, I was like, okay, I'm a coach now, but what do I do? But quickly, like Shauna helped me a lot at the beginning, and I still ask her a million questions. She answers me. But we do power hours, so we work together on our businesses. We have team calls every week, and we learn from successful coaches that help us like get better at our business. And we have constant trainings. We have videos to watch, so many trainings. And like I said, your coach is always there. And the one thing I like about this community is that it's not a competition. Like everyone wants everyone to succeed. So like you feel so comfortable, like you can literally ask any coach and like they will help you, which is super nice. And the last one is not having enough time. So when I started this, I'm like off for summer, on summer leave, being a teacher, and I was scared of like, when I go back, what am I gonna do? But I used to scroll on social media for hours every single day, like just doing absolutely nothing. Like I would waste so many hours. So I decided to use that time to work on my business, which has been awesome. So I do it in pockets of my day. So I will do like a little bit in the morning, and then if I'm busy doing something, that's fine. And then if I'm free again, I'll work on it. And then again at night. Like you don't have to do it all in one go, or like, and the best part is that it's on your phone, so you can literally take it anywhere. So it's so easy to like work on it if you're commuting, or if you're wherever you're at, you can be working on your business. And I find it so easy to make time for something that you're so passionate about. I've always loved health and fitness, so to like see other people reach their goals in health and fitness makes me happy. So I want to make that time in order to help other people. And I think that's it. I will pass it over to Emma, who will be talking about what we do as coaches.
Hi guys. So yeah, my name is Emma. I started this whole journey, which is actually so funny. We are approaching my yearversary, which is crazy to think that I have been doing this for a year. Who I am like today is so different than who I am a year ago. So I started doing the programs in September, and it changed my life. It changed my life completely. And so I immediately started coaching in like November, December. So I have been coaching for all of 2020 so far, and it's been incredible. So my kind of story and why I did this a year ago is because I was in such a horrible place. Like all the lists that you check off on what you want to change in your life, I had so much, but I wasn't doing anything to like push it forward to make any of those come true. So my mental health was absolutely horrible, the worst that it's ever been. My anxiety was at an all-time high to the point where it was controlling my life. Panic attacks were an ongoing thing for me, and it was hard for me to control. I didn't feel like I was in control of my life, and I hated that because like it's my life. So why am I letting fear and anxiety control me? And I was so unhappy with my body. I was the most I ever weighed. I was just so uncomfortable, and it came to the time in September where I just went through the worst summer because I didn't want to do anything. Anytime any place needed me to like be in a bathing suit, even though I was beautiful, like my body was fine. I was completely perfect, and there was no reason why I shouldn't have been happy with myself, but there's so much that I needed to change inside of me to feel that way. So the summer was horrible for me. I said no to a lot of things I should have said yes to. I missed out on a lot of memories. So saying yes to this has helped me so much. I work out every single day, which has been absolutely incredible for my mental health. Where I am today with my mental health is absolutely amazing. I never would have thought I would be where I am today without medication. Like, that was my next step. It was going there. So it's absolutely incredible that working out in this community and coaching is that for me. So yeah, coaching in general has made me such a more confident and happy person. I've always been a super positive, look on the bright side person, but like, you would have never thought that about me. And I probably hid that for a while. So I needed something to spark my passion back up and to let my flowers blossom, to let me become who I should be, who I needed to be, because I was being held back by like fear, anxiety, and all that. So that is why I'm so excited to talk to you guys today about what we do as coaches, what we do on a daily basis that has turned me into just having so much passion for this. So my favorite part about this is anybody can do it. This business works for you. This business works into your life. Like, if you are super damn busy, like, that's okay. When I first started coaching, I was a full-time student. I had a full-time job. So I'm not a morning person. I am a night hawk. I hate getting up early, but working out in the morning was something that I know I needed to do. I could not work out at nighttime. If I did, it was like, I knew it was hard for me to do. So I got up early, and not only did I work out, but I worked my business at that point. And I worked my business while I was waiting for the professor to come in class, when we had our breaks, in between classes, when I came home before dinner. After dinner, I'd hop on with my girls, do a power hour, and I'd work my business. So it's for everyone. If you're extremely busy, you can put it into pockets of your day. And if you aren't completely busy, then amazing. You have so much more time to put some energy into this incredible thing that you can build for yourself. So what we do in those little pockets of the day is build your business, but my favorite part of it is you're focusing on your own journey, and focusing on your own journey and pouring into your own cup and sharing your journey along the way, the struggles, the wins, the losses, because people are going to connect with you on all of them. You need to be real. You need to be true to who you are. This isn't never perfect. It's up and down every single day. And I love that I can be so open and real about it and connect with people in that way. So a huge part of what we do as coaches is literally just live our life and try to be the best version we can be, while helping and encouraging girls along the way. So it's been incredible to use those pockets of those days to focus on yourself. So we do a lot of personal development as coaches. We read those self-help books, we inspire, we listen to those podcasts, anything to get you in that positive mindset that you need to be to help others. Because coaching is a lot of pouring yourself into others, which is absolutely incredible. It's so amazing to feel like you are making an impact on other people's lives, but you need to make sure that your cup's full first. So pockets of your day are meant to help you do that, but working the business. So you have this business that you need to build as coaches. And so like any other business, you need to plan ahead for what's to come, plan your content, plan what you want to talk about, which is literally you. It's your journey. So it's like the easiest content to come up with. It's like about yourself and your journey. And yeah, like Audrey said, we do power hours with the team. So anytime you want to get some work done, there's always someone that wants to work it with you and keep you accountable. And we have our team call, like she said, every single week. So this is always something that's so amazing, is because every single week you are leaving Wednesday nights, which is literally what we're hopping on after this. You are leaving with such like inspiration inside of you. Like, if you've had a bad week, like, it's about to get better, because these team calls just remind you as to like why you're coaching and why you're doing this. And you always come out with tangible things to take forward. So these are kind of like knowledgeable things that you learn, and like you're always learning in coaching. And so that is something that, even though you're a brand new coach, you're giving all the resources that you need. You're giving all the mentors that you need. Like Audrey said, you're going to ask a million questions, and that's okay. There's always somebody there to answer you. I'm still asking questions. Like, it's going to happen. So what we do as coaches is you live your own journey, you share it, you inspire others by doing it, and you put in the work if this is something that you want to do full-time, part-time, as a hobby. Whatever you want to do, you put in the hours that you want to put in to whatever goal that you have for yourself. And whatever it is, that's fine. So it's an absolute amazing opportunity for wherever you're at in your life. So next, Shauna is going to talk to you about why we do all those things and how you make an income from it.
Thank you, Emma. So, hi guys. If you don't know who I am, can you hear me? Okay. Okay. My name is Shauna, and I have been a coach for 4 years. So I am the grandma of the group. I started way back when I was 21 years old. So at that point in my journey, I was in college. I have always been like an active person. I always, like Audrey said, I was on volleyball teams, basketball teams, loved being a part of a community. But when I went off to college, I stopped, like I wasn't really on a team anymore. And so I missed that. I missed being a part of a team. I missed the positivity. I was going to the gym, but honestly, I was not seeing the results that I wanted to. I was a bar star. I loved going out to the bar. I loved eating late at night. All of the things that had caught up to me eventually, and I had gained weight. So my roommate at the time, she was actually doing Insanity in the basement of our college house. And we were spending money at the gym. We'd be at the gym for like an hour, and our roommate was downstairs in the basement killing it with Insanity, and she looked insane. Like I remember from when we first started college to the end of the 3 years, she didn't gain weight. She lost weight, and she looked so confident. And so anyways, I never had reached out to her. I never had asked her to join her with her workouts or anything like that, because I was going to the gym, so I didn't need that. But anyways, so long story short, it was my last 2-3 months of college, and I ended up moving home. I didn't finish college at home because somebody that I dated in high school, we were friends at the time, we had broken up because our relationship was very toxic, but he was in a really bad accident. I got the call, I think it was New Year's Day. He had fallen downstairs. He was in a coma. He had a really bad brain injury, and this like really affected me. Like I wasn't myself anymore. I like stopped going out. I was like crying in my room at night. I stopped taking care of myself. I moved home from college, which was like the funnest years of my life. So that was really upsetting. So when this happened, my roommate had posted her before and after photos. I was scrolling Instagram one day. She posted her Insanity before and after photos, and I was like, whoa. So like I was so pumped for her. I like congratulated her. I liked her picture, and she was like, hey, I'm doing this boot camp. Like, do you want to join me? And I was like, yes. Like I knew how confident she was. I knew that the programs were working for her. And I remember like watching her with this like group of women, and I was like, hey, I need to be a part of this, because I like had lost myself at that point. So anyways, I joined, and at this time we used DVDs, workout DVDs. There wasn't any like online workouts. It was literally 21-day fixed DVDs. And so I did a 21-day program. I had to start a morning routine because I was not a morning person, because I was doing placement at home. So I was in an autism classroom that I was in throughout the day, and then I had to work at night. So if I wanted to make that work, I had to get my workout in at 5 a.m. And that freaked me out a little bit, but I did it. I made it happen. I shared my results with my coach, and she had asked me to share my before and after photos. And back then, I was somebody who was so shy, so introverted. You probably wouldn't think that now, but like I hated anything to do with putting myself out there. So even her asking to share my before and after freaked me out. But anyways, I let her do it. She posted it on Facebook, and from there, like people were asking me, what are you doing? Can you tell me what you're doing? And I had sent them to her because I wasn't coaching at the time. So I had done these programs for 2 months before I said yes to coaching. I was very fearful, like Audrey said, like putting myself out there, like anything to do with posting, like freaked me out. So it did take me a while to actually see the opportunity of coaching, but when I did, I was so excited. So here we are 4 years later, obviously love it. It's changed my life. Like I can't even imagine where I'd be without coaching. And what my topic is going to be about is income. And I didn't originally start to build a business or make an income. It was really just to get my confidence back, be a part of a community. I remember my coach had asked me, like, do you want to be a hobby coach? Like, do you just want to do it as a hobby, or do you actually want to build a business? And immediately I was like, oh, I just want it as a hobby. I didn't actually realize what the opportunity was. I didn't actually realize what you could do with this business. Until I actually saw my first paycheck, and I was like, what? Like, we make an income every week? Like, how does this work? And I didn't really know how the income potential would work for me. Because I was working full time, because I was a student, I didn't know if I would be able to make it work, but I did. And so I will tell you a little bit about how we actually make an income, but I'd rather tell you guys what the income has actually done for me, because that's what matters most. And it's really a direct reflection of the people that you are helping. So your paycheck isn't because you showed up on social media that day. Your paycheck isn't because you posted a picture on social media that day. Your paycheck is showing you like how many people you're actually helping, whether it be someone that just needs to get their confidence back, that wants like exercise in their life, or maybe even somebody that wanted to build a business or be a part of the coaching community. You're helping them, and that's awesome. That's what your paycheck is. So in my first month of coaching, it paid for the products that I had been purchasing before anyway. So I loved the products. I loved how it was making me feel. So my first paycheck was actually helping me pay for those products that I was buying anyway. So that was a really big perk. In my first 6 months, I was like, I need a car. Like, I need to be able to have a car. I was using my parents' car. I was out of college. I was like, it's time. So my 6 months, I saved my money from coaching, and I put it as a down payment on my very first little silver car. And it was perfect for me. And I was like, I just couldn't believe that this income was allowing me to like do these things that I probably wouldn't have been able to do otherwise. In my first year, I was really just doing things that I loved. So whether it be like get my nails done, get my hair done, like extra things that I wasn't able to do before, coaching was allowing me to do that. In my second year, I quit my daycare job. This was a big deal for me. I remember crying, being like putting in my 2 weeks, because I was not enjoying that job at all. I worked my booty off to be able to make this happen, and to be able to like put in my 2 weeks to quit that job, and to be able to work part-time at a school board. So coaching, like, I literally put in so much work, and I want you guys to know, like, you don't have to be someone that wants to come into this business to quit their job. Like, you can still love your job and still do coaching. So if you're someone that just really wants to, I don't know, put gas in your car, or like have extra grocery money, or like pay off your student debt, I don't want you to feel like this is the type of business where you like, you want to quit your job, because everyone's different and everyone has different goals in their lives. So I don't want you to feel that way. In my third year, I was able to work full-time coaching throughout the summer and really just work my own schedule within the school board. I traveled to Tulum. I traveled like with different coaching events. And I passed on a full-time position with the school. At this point, I was making more money with coaching than I would ever have made with working Monday to Friday at a school. And I'm sharing this with you not to be like, look, I'm just showing you like the opportunity that this business has, because before I didn't really realize what it had. I didn't really realize the income potential. I didn't know that there wasn't really a cap in how much money you make, because when you first start coaching, you're making 25% commissions off of all of the people that you're helping. And then obviously the more you work your business, the more time you put into it, you start to earn promotions and bonuses and all of those fun things. But I want you to know it does take time. It does take patience, and you need to just fall in love with the process and what you're working towards. That's one thing I learned, is like, it takes a lot of patience, but I really just fell in love with the coaching community and everything that I could put into it to be able to achieve these things. I could keep going, but I think you guys get the point. So I'm going to pass it on to Shelby. She's going to wrap it up and kind of tell you a little bit about what sort of happens when you do get started.
Hello, can you guys hear me? Okay, awesome. So like Shauna said, my name is Shelby. I have been a coach for just over 2 years. Shauna's my coach. And I was someone who was like a silent stalker. I would watch, Shauna had followed me and I would watch her stories. I would look at her posts, but I wouldn't like anything because I didn't even follow her back. Like I didn't want her to know. She had reached out to me. I ghosted her, and then finally I saw like a before and after photo or something. I was in the same sort of position that she shared about, where she had gained weight just from being away at school and, you know, prioritizing partying more than you did your time in the gym. And so I was like a serial starter and stopper at the gym. Like I would go every Monday, quit by Friday, go again every Monday, quit by Friday. I was like just in that really bad routine where I wasn't really making any progress. I went away on spring break trip in my 4th year and was like embarrassed about what I looked like. And so that was kind of like the straw that broke the camel's back for me. And I jumped in with Shauna. I messaged her and said, okay, like sign me up, basically. No ifs, ands, or buts. Like I already know I want to do it. And I thought she was going to say, it's like $500 to get started. And then it was actually super affordable. So I was able to jump in right away. I did the boot camp myself for 2 weeks. And then was like, okay, how do I become a coach? Because in that group, I saw girls cheering each other on. I saw girls sharing about like big goals and big dreams that they had for themselves. I saw girls like talking about how they were working on growing themselves just like as a person. And I didn't really have anyone in my close circle who was like that. I did like personal development. I was like the weirdo that listened to the podcast and read the books on my own, but I didn't tell anybody because I didn't want my friends to know, because I thought it was like weird. But then I joined this group and all these girls were doing it too. And I realized like it was just the group of people that I was surrounded with. I was still like in that close knit circle of friends who partied all the time. And once I realized, you know, that wasn't really what I wanted anymore, I needed to find people who were kind of that one step ahead of me. I don't know if you guys have heard the quote where you're the sum of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. So when I wanted to start making those healthy habit changes and the people that I was around weren't necessarily ready for that, I was looking for a new group of friends. So to be honest, I joined coaching because I wanted to be friends with like Shauna and Riley and the other girls that I saw running my boot camp group. And I knew, hey, that's how I can like get to know them better. But then I fell in love with coaching. So 2 weeks into coaching, they were going on a trip to our annual coach summit, which was happening in it was happening in Indianapolis. And I was, like I said, in 4th year. I had a part-time job, but I didn't really have the money to go, and my parents told me not to go. And I'm like the queen of FOMO. So I just went anyways. 2 weeks into being a coach, didn't know these girls, literally met them online, like stranger danger to the maximum, and just hopped in a car with them and drove for 8 hours. And kind of like the rest is history. That week in Indianapolis showed me what was possible with this opportunity. I saw people on stage who were in the same shoes that I was in, sitting in the audience, right? Because at that point, I'd literally been working out consistently for 4 weeks. I'd been a coach for 2 weeks. I had no idea what the heck I was doing. But they were talking about how they had got started, and here they were after putting in the work, after being patient, after sticking to it, talking about all the things that had changed in their life from saying yes to this opportunity. And so I think that's what really helped me like hit the ground running. I have worked my ass off every single day since that day. I've shown up on social media literally every single day for 2 years, except for one day. Because like I know what I'm working towards. And so I never like to sugarcoat this business. I never want you to think like you're going to be able to join and get rich quick. You're not going to make the money that Shauna is making in your first month because she has stayed patient and she has put in the time, and it takes time to build that trust with people. But we want you guys to know exactly what she said. Like if we can do it, so can you. I never thought I could be a successful coach because I didn't have any crazy story. Like I always say, like my life was so plain and normal. Like nothing traumatic had ever happened to me. I didn't have a reason to be miserable. Like nothing was wrong. But I think I've come to realize is that's what makes me so relatable to other people, is that you don't have to have a crazy story to be able to see success with this. It is like the little mundane, everyday things that help you relate to other people. And so that was like a big misconception that I had, is that I could never see success because, you know, nothing crazy had ever happened to me. I think another big misconception that people have is that you have to have like a huge following, or you already have to be into fitness. When you get started with us on our team, I should also mention we're like actually like a top team in Canada. So we know kind of what we're doing here, and we've been able to help a lot of people duplicate the same success that we're seeing. So we're not just here like, hey, look at us, you know, we're going to teach you the tools that we've used to get here. And you like joining our team, you can actually like outperform us. So you're never like stuck below. Just because someone's your coach doesn't mean that they're always going to be like above you. You can exceed their income, you can exceed their rank, you can exceed their leadership. There's no caps on any of that. But yeah, I think a big misconception that people have is that you have to have a big following, or you have to already be into fitness. In terms of growing your following, we're going to teach you exactly what you need to know. I started with less than 1,000 followers, and it has taken patience and hard work again, but I have a following of over 7,000 2 years later. I, like I said, had worked out for 2 weeks consistently before I became a coach. And I think so many people let not being at their goals hold them back. But again, that's what makes you relatable to other people. Like nobody wants to join and be like, oh, my coach is like picture perfect, because that's not, they don't think that's attainable for them, right? They want to see the ups and the downs for you and know that like, hey, you're human too, and you're busy, and you're not at your goals and you're able to make it happen. It shows them that they can do it too, right? This is a process. This is a journey. This is ever going. I don't know if I'll ever like arrive at whatever my ideal goals are or ideal body is. It's always going to be working towards that next thing. But that's kind of like the beauty of it. The other thing I think, like was kind of mentioned, is a lot of people think they don't have enough time to do this business. When I started, I was working 30 hours a week, going to school full time in my 4th year. I was an executive member of my sorority. And again, like I had no time. I built the business the same way that was mentioned, in literally 10 to 15 minute pockets of time throughout the day, waiting for class to start, on the bus, waiting for dinner to cook. Like I knew what I was working towards. So I spent every minute where I'd be watching Netflix or scrolling on social media pouring into this business. Now, obviously that looks different because of just like my season of life has changed. I work full time now that I've graduated. But the cool thing is that coaching has been able to stay with me no matter what season of life I'm in, no matter what the world, like what is happening in the world, we're always able to help other people. And so I think that's like another really, really cool thing about what we're doing here. The other thing I'll say is I usually think busy people are the most successful because you already kind of have that upper hand on how to manage your time. We're going to give you literally like a business checklist of exactly what to do each day. And I would just take like one thing off of that checklist every time I had 10 to 15 minutes and complete it. And then over the course of the day, I would be able to fit in my kind of business activities for the day. So I think those are kind of like the big misconceptions that I often hear. But like what actually happens if you're like, hey, Shelby, I'm in, let's do this, kind of what's next, right? So we run new coach mentorships. And so what that looks like is we have a Facebook group where there are step-by-step training modules for you to go through. You can go through it as fast or as slow as you'd like. Obviously, the faster that you go through it, the faster you're going to be able to really jump in and dive in with your business. But a lot of it is honestly like paperwork, forms you have to fill out for taxes, direct deposit forms, those sort of things. But we're going to walk you through that step-by-step so you're not overwhelmed. If you aren't already a part of the boot camps, the first thing we're really going to do is help you choose a program to get started with. Help you get set up with a nutrition program, because like Emma mentioned, so much of coaching is your journey first. You can't lead other people if you're not leading yourself. And so we want you to be like, we call it like a product of the programs. That's kind of like your advertising, right, is doing the programs yourself. So that'll be step number 1. If you're already started with the boot camps, that's awesome. But you definitely don't have to start with them first. You can jump in with both of them at the exact same time. You'll be put in a group chat with other people who are just getting started with coaching as well, so that it's not like you're like signed up and then we're going to throw you to the deep end and be like, figure out how to swim. We're literally talking to you every single day, helping you figure out every single thing. We're here to answer every single question that you have. And then we have ongoing training as well. So once you complete that initial training, we set up a one-on-one call. It's called a Getting Started Right call. And that's where we're going to kind of talk you through, okay, what are your goals with coaching? And we're going to like help guide you specific to what your goals are. If you want to walk, we're going to walk with you. If you want to hit the ground running, we're going to hit the ground running with you as well. But really it's going to depend on where you see yourself going with the business. And that looks different for everybody. But like I mentioned, there's ongoing training. So we have weekly team calls. We have additional mentorship groups sometimes if people are pushing for extra ranks. But really, like, you are never in this alone. I think it's really, really easy, at least for me. It was really easy when I was getting started as an outsider looking in. It's really easy to think that the positivity is fake, the friendship is fake, the community is fake. Like I was like, there's no way everybody's actually this nice. There's no way this is actually real. And I was like, hey, what do I have to lose? I'm just going to test it out for myself. And then here I am 2 years later. I promise it's actually legit. I promise we actually all love each other in real life. I promise we actually do the trainings that we say we do. So if you're skeptical, I get it. But know that like this is all actually real. So yeah, that's kind of like what it looks like to get started. The one thing I always say is, because I know this can be scary, right? I know that there's probably like a lot of fear holding you back. Maybe you have that whisper that's like, I want to do this, but what will other people think? Or I want to do this, but what if X, Y, Z? I always say to people, what do you have to lose? With this business, we believe in our products and our programs so much that we offer you a 30-day money-back guarantee. You can literally sign up and do a program for 21 days, drink an entire bag of shakes or the performance line, and if at the end of the 21 or 30 days you don't like it, you can literally ship the empty bag back in the mail and you'll get a full refund on your money. Okay? So we are not telling you like, join this program and then you're locked in. It's like, join this program, try it out. If it's for you, great. If not, that's totally cool too, but at least you know now, right? And so if you have that tug on your heart, I always say, go for it. Like, just jump in. And if it's not for you, cool, but now at least you know, right? And what I know happens 99.9% of the time is you realize that a lot of the fears that you had, aren't really that big of fears once you just jump in and do it. The fear kind of disappears once you just start to take action. And just know we all started with that fear. I think about myself, or I think about Shauna, and I think, what if I would have let that voice in my head that said, what will Sally from high school think, hold me back? I wouldn't have the life that I have today. I wouldn't have the things that I have today. I wouldn't have the experiences that I have today. I wouldn't have the friendships that I have today if I would have let what Sally from high school thinks stop me from ever getting started, right? And so I just challenge you to think about the same thing in your life. Literally, what do you have to lose, right? But that's kind of what we have, I think. I don't know if anybody else has anything to add. If you have any questions, feel free to unmute yourself or drop them in the chat and we can answer them. If you're not comfy doing that, totally just message whoever added you as well. But if you are ready to get started, I think most people have a new coach mentorship kicking off in the next week. So you'll want to send them a message so they can get you set up to jump in with the training. So they can get you set up with the bootcamp package. If that's something that you need, they can send you the options to get started. Not sure. Shauna, do you have something to add? No?
Nope. I was just going to stop the recording and